Good morning. I have a very special guest, the most special that I ever have. My beautiful wife, wifey, Gabby Morales. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, always. Today we have um, a few interesting topics. We're it's going to be centered around us, obviously, right? Around marriage, family, kids, business, what it's like to have a husband that's an entrepreneur. You know, uh, People might think it's all glamour and glory, which it is sometimes, but there's definitely a sacrifice that comes with that. You have to pay a price to have. mm, Let's see. Let me rephrase that. You have to
You have to pay a price.
for that lifestyle.
Yes, there's a price that comes with the territory.
hmm You want to start with?
How we met. All right. Well, Brandon and I, we met at church. We met at church. Our families had been knowing each other for a few years. And my mother-in-law, she used to cut my hair. She used to cut my hair, my mom's hair, and my two siblings' hair as well. So, I would see Brandon from time to time at my in-law salon and then at church.
Mhm.
And then we started dating in 2010. We dated for 2 years and 4 months. So we met at church.
Very nice. There's a little bit, we're leaving the part where,
What part, babe?
or for like a year, you didn't talk to me after.
Oh, that part. Okay.
Yes, I had to. So I asked for. I had your number, and then
hmm
I texted you, said that I thought you were beautiful, and you didn't answer for like a year. I'm like, what the heck?
I never got that text.
Yeah,
Just kidding. Um,
it is what it is.
Hey, but I will tell you this. When I go back and remember that time, I like to think of it this way, that it wasn't God's timing. You know, it wasn't God's timing, and I feel like
Hey, I answered for you. It- Correct. It wasn't God's time, and like I like that too, though, right?
mm,
Because as men, we're we're natural hunters, so like you were that prized possession for me that I had to work extra hard for. So, you know, more than worth the wait and the hunt.
you're funny. Um,
But yeah, then we started dating and you realize how awesome I am.
Pretty awesome.
And you're like, let's get married. Let's do it now.
Let's do it now. Yeah.
And here we are, 12 years later.
12 years later of being married and almost 15 years of being together.
And it's flown by.
It has. It has.
I still feel young. Let's say 12.
I do
Uh,
too. I do too.
we are young.
Oh,
We are young. I just got gray hair.
I don't have any, thank the Lord. I don't know what I would do if I get a gray hair.
Diet platinum.
That's what we're doing here, babe. Okay, now let's talk about the funniest or most memorable moments in our relationship. Funniest moments. I think we have a lot. I love one of the many things that I love about us is I feel like we're always laughing. We always find the funny things in every situation. And I think that's what makes life interesting, fun, and just how do you say bearable. you know,
Terrible. Wow.
not bearable, but like, in like situations, like it depends how you look at it,
Yeah.
you know,
I don't know if to be offended.
not bearable, but like, okay, cut that, please. Like, lo haces pasable. That's what I'm trying to say.
So who's the funny one?
You. I think you're the funnier, the funniest one, the funnier.
I would agree, but you surprised me. You I guess it's we've
You bring that.
yeah, bring that out of you. We've been married for 12 years, so like yeah, there's my sense of humor and I know yours now. So one of the things I love is that wherever we're at, when we find something funny, like we have our inside jokes where I just have to look at you and I already know that you're laughing inside trying to hold it. And you do that smirk. Or, I feel you pinch me because you know that I'm about to start, bust out laughing at someone.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
uh, so yeah, it's. I forgot your question. I was distracted by looking at you. I'm sorry.
Here, I'll remind you. The funniest or most memorable moments in your relationship.
Oh,
I have a lot of funny moments.
yeah, it's most so funniest. Like you said, it's kind of hard to pinpoint one because we're always having fun, right? Like we don't have to be doing something crazy to be having fun. Like we see that the joy of life in everything that we do.
That's what I was trying to say.
There you go. Memorable was probably gonna be. So for me, it was when we went to Punta Cana, and not just the whole trip, but it was when we were on the little sailboats, right?
I was
Because
trying not to fall.
and then I know that that's you're scared of the ocean,
Yes. I'm scared of the water.
but seeing you like having so much fun in the environment that you fear was very memorable.
You made me feel safe.
It was also fun. Like I love the water, so
It was fun. It was scary, but I don't know. Whenever I'm with you, I know that everything's okay.
oh, well, that's my job, right? To protect you and our boys. That's one of my jobs. But that in New York too.
Yeah, I'll say that for me, that trip that we took to New York last fall,
Mm-hmm.
last
November.
November, right before Thanksgiving, has been one of the most memorable moments in our relationship. Um, it had been nine years since we just we just went on a trip, just you and I, and
A
for
bit
me,
longer.
nine. No, it was 9.
No,
Mm-hmm.
no, because well, I mean,
Yeah, Joshua turned 10 in
yeah,
December.
but we were married a year and a half before Joshua was born.
Oh, that is right.
Yeah,
So it had been what, 10, close to 10, around 10 years. So that going to New York was our first trip ever, just Brandon and I. And
aside from the honeymoon, right? But
yes,
hell,
that one too. But yeah, it's just, just traveling and just being you and myself. And then the weather in New York also, it was very cold, very, very gloomy. It rained for the 3 days that we were there.
it didn't rain those 3 days.
No, it didn't. It felt like it did. Anyways, but I love that weather. I love gloomy weather.
Why?
I don't know. Something about gloomy weather, rainy days that I love.
The romantic.
Yes, very. And we walked in the rain. I thought that was very romantic. And it was very memorable.
Which is funny because I dislike that weather. It makes you feel sad. but it
That
makes
weather
me
hypes me up. I don't know why.
it makes you happy, so I have to, adjust for you.
Dance in the rain, baby.
There you go, with you anywhere.
So yes, can't wait to go back.
That that I do want to say we're gonna touch back on that because
Which part?
on the fact that it took us so long to go without the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we'll touch back on that
Okay.
because that's a lesson learned.
Yes. So that would be our next point. Lessons you have learned as
Oh,
a
there you
couple.
go. So
There
never
you
mind.
go.
We're not
Next.
touching back. Yeah, I think one of the lessons that we learned was that we had to cultivate our marriage, right? That we needed to to water
Mm,
us,
mm-hmm.
right, as a couple. I think that's something that and we're guilty of it too. The first 5 years, we neglected that
Yes. Everything revolved around our firstborn.
in school, work, but we never made time for us. And that was a mistake.
It was a lesson learned.
Yeah. And I would say I'd wish that we could fix that, but like you said, that lesson learned,
That
it,
mistake led to a lesson learned.
yeah, and that lesson that we learned is what has us here now.
Yes.
All right, so we're still young, even though we have two boys that are, we got a 10-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Almost 11-year-old babe.
I know he's got a mustache. Uh, that we know how to have fun. You and I, how to enjoy time. You and I,
Yeah.
how to talk. You and I on things that have nothing to do with the
With
boys or the business or anything else other than just you and I, right? And I think that's if I give an advice to a newlywed or even couples that have been married for as long as we have, sometimes they don't catch on to this. That yes, life is busy. Yes, you have work, you have responsibilities, you have children. Yes, you have to clean the house, you have to do everything. All these things. But if you forget to feed that relationship, that's your marriage, gap starts to happen.
Yeah. And also, feeding your marriage, that's the gospel that you're teaching your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And once your kids grow up, they tend to follow what they see at home. So, what we want that's what we want for our boys. We want to model them that, godly marriage. So instead of, how we see now in society where, adults have to, how do you say that? Like break those, ¿cómo se dicen? Like,
You're talking about the paradigms that are set by
mhm.
society.
I lost my thought.
I tend to have that effect on you. Yeah. So what you're saying is, society is establishing certain roles
Mm-hmm.
for what a man and a woman should look like, and it's our job to be that model for them, not
Mm-hmm.
what they see on TV or what they see.
What they hear in school.
Mhm. But it's our job as parents, especially, and a lot of the pressure for since we have boys falls on me, right? It's my job to raise godly men,
Mm.
right? It's my job to model them how a husband should treat his wife,
Yeah.
right? How to show affection.
And that's something that I love about you. That the kids see that at home. They don't only like, oh, I heard my dad say that. Like they see that at home because that's how we all learn, by
Yeah, you model it.
yeah.
You know, I model what a husband should be. I'm not perfect, but I try.
You're perfect to me.
There you go. Um, yeah, model what a husband should be. Under God's um like eyes. Under those standards, under those principles, what a father should be. And one of the things that I love to hear, and I get this from Josh a lot. When I'm tucking him in at night and I'm praying for him, he's told me multiple times. He said, "Dad, I want to be a dad like you." He's like, when I have my kids, he's like, "I'm gonna be like you."
Yes.
And again, I'm not perfect, but that that's kind of the engine that drives me. He says, "Okay, you're doing something right.
You're doing many things right, baby.
Try." Um, but and he also says, he said, "I want my wife to be like mom." Right, because he sees that dynamic that we have. Like, I can't remember the last time we argued.
I don't think we
Been,
argue.
yeah, it's been years.
We talk.
Correct. Well, that's what I'm getting to. Like,
Right.
it's been years since we said we got into quote unquote an argument.
Yeah.
Right, but that's because again, we've learned
Mm-hmm. One of the
we've learned how to be a better husband, how to be a better wife. We've learned, how to love each other. And we've invested so much into our marriage that like we don't have we neither of us want to argue. Like if when there's something that comes out that you have an opinion that's different from mine, we're at a point where we simply talk about it, we weigh the options,
yeah.
Then we make the best decision for the family as a unit.
Mm.
And that's it.
I agree.
We each one of us puts our pride to the side, and it's not what's best for me. It's not what's best for you, but it's what's best for us. And that includes, you and I and the boys.
The boys.
And I think that's why, like, it's funny. I always tell everyone, I'm like, why aren't you guys married yet? Marriage
Brandon's
is fun.
trying to get everyone married.
Well, if you marry the right person, then
that's right.
Marriage is just amazing.
It's beautiful.
Agreed. Like I couldn't see myself showing up to an empty house. Yeah, I don't know how people do it. I get to the house to a beautiful wife and kids that are
hiding from you.
Well,
so the little one, as soon as he hears Brandon's truck, he goes, "Dad's home. Hide." And he runs to the pantry.
Clarify.
To hide.
He's playing hide and seek.
Yes.
He's waiting. Yes, he's not hiding from me.
Not hiding in a bad,
yeah, just want to clarify. Yeah. He's playing hide and seek, and he will wait there.
Until Brandon finds him.
Yeah.
While he snacks on his chocolate chip cookies.
I'll just hear the munching, but he'll wait. And if, I'm not looking for him, he starts banging on the door or he starts...
he
starts giggling, something.
To catch your attention.
And it's every time. And I love that. Before, he used to be waiting for me. I would see the blinds open up, little hands, and then he'd be waiting for me at the stairs. Now he plays hide and seek, and he's waiting for me to find him.
Yeah, so, I love that. I love that because even our 10-year-old, he does that too. Mm-hmm. He goes and hides, and every time
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I know he is. He is pretty good at hiding. But yeah, I just love that. I love how happy the boys get whenever you're home. It's like their highlight of the evening. Like their eyes open out. They're like, "Dad's home. Everyone hide." And we all hide, waiting for you to find us. I love that.
Yeah, I can't explain how great that feels as a father, as a husband. You know, it makes the sacrifice from the day to day worth it. You know, it's what gets me through the hard days. But yeah, I love that. I would do anything for you guys.
Oh, I love you, babe.
I love you too. All right, what's next?
On the importance of knowing your spouse love language.
Okay, what are
So
give
the
me one of my
five. Hold your horses. So the five love languages. There's five.
okay.
So there's words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts.
Hmm.
So that's one thing that I had to learn about you. What is your love language?
Before we get to that, why do you think that's important?
Because that's the way that you need for me to be able to express my love towards you.
Yeah, that's the way I feel loved, right? I perceive
Mm-hmm.
love. And one of the mistakes that, again, we had to learn, and I keep saying mistakes. Maybe it's not a mistake, but one of the
Lesson
lessons
learned.
that need to be learned is that your love language, so how I expect to receive love, right,
Mm-hmm.
isn't yours.
Mm.
So a lot of times what I would do is I would show you love the way I expect to receive love,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
right, without knowing whether that's how you interpret love or not.
Right.
So to
That's
me,
good.
I'm doing an act of love, but you're not receiving it that way because that's not the way you perceive love.
Mm.
Right. For
I
example,
agree.
you need words of affirmation. That's how you perceive love. I don't need that. So I wouldn't give you those words of affirmation because to me, the way I was showing you that I loved you already was through the love language that I needed,
Mm-hmm.
which was, you know, giving gifts,
Mm-hmm.
acts of service, and
Yes.
touch. I'm very touchy.
You are.
All right, and I like, whether you just sometimes just I tell you, hey, roll my shoulders, not
Mm.
because I'm stressed, but because I want to feel your hands
Yes.
on me. All right, and that's a way that you're showing me that you love me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm very touchy as well to how I express love, which you weren't at first, but you like it now.
No comments. Yes, I do. All right. So you said that my love language was words of affirmation,
Acts of service.
acts of service, and I think like I'm a little bit of everything now. But
Yeah.
yes, like the main one, like you said, I do. I think my main love language is words of affirmation. Yeah, and yours would be physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it's important to know your spouse's love language because, again, it's how they perceive that you love them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, I would give you gifts, acts of service. I'm whatever you need, I'll always do and
Yes.
go above and beyond.
Yes.
But I wasn't giving you those words of
Mm-hmm.
affirmation, so you didn't feel seen or loved or appreciated. Even though to me, I'm like, I'm already providing her, I'm giving her everything
Mm-hmm.
and more.
And that would bring some type of
Conflicts, yeah,
frustration to you. Okay.
because I felt like I'm doing everything that I can do because I'm showing you love in the ways that I know, which is always the ways that you receive it. But then you weren't receiving that love because it wasn't how you interpreted love. It
That's
wasn't your
good.
love language, right? So, and I know that that's a big problem that a lot of marriages face. That because when couples come and talk to us, we listen. I see that pattern that they're frustrated. Well, he doesn't love me. He doesn't show me he loves me, and then he starts listing. Oh, I do this. I do that. I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, it is. That's your love language, but it's not her. So there's the disconnect. It's like if I'm speaking to you in Mandarin and you don't speak Mandarin, then I'm saying something, but you're not receiving that message.
Oh, that's good. That's a good example. I like that.
All right, so that's why it's important that we learn our spouse's love language so that we can express to them in the language they understand, in the form they understand that we love them. If you do that, it's so funny because once you have that connect, like marriage becomes so simple, so easy.
Hmm. How? What do you mean?
Well, I show up to a happy wife. I'm excited to go home. Right? I don't want to go anywhere else than the house. Like sometimes you're like, hey, let's go
Let's go
out to,
out.
and I'm like, hey, I've been out all day. Like I'm home. I want to be here. I don't want to go anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You enjoy being at home. That's
correct. We don't argue. We don't fight. Right? And we're truly one. Like you know what I need, and I don't have to ask for it. You're doing it. I know what you need, and you don't have to ask for it. And we're doing it. So we're meeting each other at 100, 100 each. Right. So, I laugh when people complain about being married. I'm like, you just don't know what you're doing, man. If you do it right, it's amazing. Um, but yeah, it's very important, to it's basic communication, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why they say communication is key. You're just learning how to communicate your love for each other. And then you can invest it. If I know what your love language is, then I know how to keep pouring love into
In
you.
that area. That's good.
So then no one is frustrated because I know that you receive
Mm-hmm.
what I'm giving.
Alrighty, let's go into challenges and joys of married life. How do we balance our personal goals with family responsibilities? I feel like we balance our goals and our family responsibilities pretty well because we know one the season that we're in, and we know the roles that you play and that I play. For example, let me elaborate on that. I know that you are the provider. You are the breadwinner. I know that. I have that very clear. While you go and do that, I know that my role is to nurture our boys, spend time with them, making sure that everything at home is running smoothly. Wow, what? But
Nothing.
it's just it keeps moving.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking,
But
it runs as smooth as it can with two boys that are full of energy.
true, true.
But yes, you're doing a
Um,
fabulous job. See, words of affirmation.
it threw me off. Okay, so
You're saying that you understand the roles, right? Where that my role is to provide, to
mhm,
protect, and what you're doing is you're the nurturer, right? You're nurturing our home, the boys. I give you a house, you create a home,
mhm.
right? You're the one that is the glue that holds it all together.
The
But
glue with sparkles.
there you go.
Not
But
regular glue, baby.
no,
I'm
nothing's
that
nothing
glue
is
with
regular.
with glitter.
Oh yeah, with diamonds. I mean, and that's something that society now has these roles kind of mixed up, where it's telling us one that you shouldn't even be a man and a wife,
Mm.
and then two is that they're really pushing this whole weak men type of deal.
Mm.
That's definitely not how we live.
No. We
Yeah,
have women taking the roles of men and men taking roles of women.
yeah. Nowadays in society,
Mm.
but I think something that allows us to work so well together is that cohesion that in it that what your part is in our ultimate goal, and I know what mine is,
Mhm.
and then we each deliver to the best our roles, right, without complaining that, hey, you're not helping me on this or you're not helping me on that.
Right. Or like for example, I don't complain, hey, like you're not helping me do this at home. You're not doing this. I need you to do that. Like I know that what my role is in this season that we're in. So it eliminates but you're not doing this. You're not doing that. I need this. I need that.
Yeah, I mean, it's what the reason why that works so well is that, like you're saying, for example, in providing, right? I'm not saying men shouldn't cook or shouldn't clean, shouldn't change diapers. I did that.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
still
do it.
feed the boys.
You still tuck them in.
Yeah.
You still spend time with them, do homework with them.
Every now and then I'll cook
Oh yeah,
when I have time.
you're a great chef.
I dabble a little bit in the
You're very
kitchen,
good.
but you know, because I'm able to keep you at home, where I take that pressure off of you from
Mm-hmm.
having to bring a paycheck to the house as well, right? To help me out. That's what allows us to have these clear kind of lines. Because at one time you did work,
Yes,
right?
it
And
was tough.
and in the evening, like we had to both, even though I'm coming from work too, we had to both, feel you. I cooked, you cleaned,
Mm-hmm.
or you cooked, and then while you're cleaning, I'm with the boys. I'm getting them ready. I was showering, bathing them. Do we will split the chores because I understood that
Mm-hmm.
you were helping me out with something that belonged to me,
Mm.
right? So I helped you out,
Yes.
right? And I was talking to someone about that. They're telling me it's like, well, my wife's always complaining about this, about that, that I don't help out around the house. I'm like, well, look, man, like she's working to help you out too.
Mm.
So you have to help in turn. Like I can't demand as a husband, if you're helping me out with my role, I can't demand you to take my role. And
And mine.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
right. And that's one of the conflicts that occurs a lot.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted. She's so beautiful.
We were also talking about, the fact that
Oh, the balance,
not the balance, but well, yes, the balance, but you taking your mas
masculine role.
masculine role allows me to take my feminine role
Mm,
to 100%.
yeah,
And it ties back with, you knowing your role of a provider, the breadwinner, and me knowing my role, which is, nurture the boys, be with them.
but I want to add to that. My role is not just to provide, because that would mean that I stop at,
Mm.
okay, you have everything materially that you need.
Right.
I'm checking out when I get home.
Mm. No,
Right?
you don't do that.
No, that's not my providing is just one of my roles.
We're providing financially, but
Correct.
you also provide us with love, with your time.
Mhm. And then you always mention,
Mm.
you said it earlier, is that you know that when I'm around, you're safe,
Yes.
right? And that's
Nothing can go
right. That's well, if it goes wrong, I'm gonna
wrong.
figure it out. I'll tell you that much. But
Yes.
that's another thing that allows you to be feminine and just and be taken care of,
Hmm.
right? That you know that your husband will figure it out. Like it doesn't matter what it takes me, I'll figure it out.
Hmm.
Like it doesn't matter what's going on. You ask me, are we gonna be okay? What are we gonna do? My answer is always, I'm gonna figure it out,
Yeah, I'll figure it out. I don't know yet. I'll figure it out.
and I do,
Yes, you do.
right? So that I've earned that right by demonstrating it. So I've
Mhm.
earned the right to lead and be the leader of the home by showing you that you can trust that
Mhm.
you'll have everything. You and the boys have everything that you'll need, not just materially, but emotionally,
Mhm.
um, under my guidance.
Mhm.
Right, and that's another I think topic that I've seen people struggle. It's like, well, it's like my wife doesn't want to quote unquote listen to me
Or what was the other one?
or
Um,
follow my lead.
respect.
Yeah,
She
doesn't
doesn't
respect
respect what I
my authority.
authority. Yeah.
And that this is gonna be controversial, but there's you have to earn that right.
Mm.
Like I can't.
You can't demand something that you haven't earned.
Yeah, and how can I lead? The reason why you follow is because you know
Mm-hmm.
in which direction that I'm leading. But I put a little parentheses there. You follow me because you know that I'm following Christ. Right.
Yes,
So it's we have that order.
that's true.
Right. So that's what also that because my heart is tied to Christ and I'm following Christ, that that I'm going to lead in the right direction. I've had to earn that right. Or I have to earn the right for you to trust at the level that you do, that even when it seems like everything is wrong, that we're following the path that God has for us.
Yes.
What was I gonna? I was gonna say something else.
Oh, that you don't like the
Goals.
word balance. So Brandon doesn't like the word balance. He feels like there's no such thing as a balance.
Well, you said something that's true though. So here's where that comes from, right? As we have a business that we run. My day starts on average at 4:30 in the morning,
That is true.
right? Just about every day, and I'm not getting to the house till 6, the earliest.
Mm-hmm.
That's on a good day,
Yeah.
right? So there is not a balance for me because my time, I'm sacrificing my time from you, my time from the boys, um, to build, this that we're building, to
Mm-hmm.
manage this business that was given to us, and entrusted to us by God. So for me, there's not a balance. And then when you look at it from your standpoint, you know, there's
There's a balance.
you don't have a balance either because your time is going to making sure that you're holding down the fort, right? The boys have everything they need, that our house is a home, right? I show up, I have a home cooked meal every day. You cook me lunch, even though sometimes I don't.
And breakfast too. And your snacks.
Right, right. So you're making sure that I have everything I need, that
Mm-hmm.
the boys have everything they need, our home has what it needs, and You also make time for you to go work out, which is important. You have to learn to make time for yourselves. Um, you have to feed yourself. You can't pour out if you're empty.
Mm.
All right, so you have to have your alone time where you recharge. But so there's no balance. Like you're very busy. You don't.
Mm-hmm.
You, you're not really balancing out
Mm-hmm.
like your time or
The things that I do.
correct. But when you look at it, what you said that I thought was very true is that each one of us is sacrificing something for the other.
Hmm.
But as a unit, though, we complement each other to where it brings balance. Right? Like
Together we achieve balance.
correct.
I love that.
Yeah, that was good. You brought that up. I'm like, oh, I like that because it's true, right? I was looking at it as myself. Oh, there is no balance in business.
Mm.
Correct, but you're bringing the balance as a whole when we talk about business and home life
Mm-hmm.
and our goals because we have our goals that we're trying to reach as a family, and we each play our role to get that goal accomplished.
That's right.
So even though as individuals there might not be balance, as a unit, as a team,
When we come together, there's a balance.
mm-hmm.
That's good, babe. Share interests, hobbies, activities you both enjoy, and how they have evolved over time. I think we already touched this a little bit.
Um, well, I mean, one of our I guess our activities, our
What are
husband and
some?
wife time is, we tuck in the boys and we watch a movie or something, watch the show
Oh,
every night.
yes. Something that I love is that we have our boys on
A schedule.
a schedule. Y'all need to get those babies on a schedule. It's very important. Like I would always hear that whenever Josh was in that newborn stage, and I'm like, yeah, sure. And then once our second one came, I think that's whenever we really started a schedule with both of them, and we have stuck with that schedule. Like our boys are asleep every night. They're both out by anywhere from 8:30 to 9.
Latest, yeah.
The latest 9. And that's every night except Wednesdays because we go to our prayer. If you need a home church, Raíces en Fe, Rooted Faith. Anyways. But yeah, every night except Wednesdays, we go to prayer. And I want to say Saturdays or Fridays, either or. I want to say Saturdays. That's whenever they tend to go to bed a little bit late, which is probably like 9:15, 9:30, and that's not even that
really
late.
Going out or we're watching a movie
Yeah.
as a family.
But yeah, and that's once the kids are out, that's our time.
Mm-hmm.
Our time. And it's funny because Joshua goes like, "Are y'all gonna watch a movie again? Why are always having dates?" And I'm like, he told me this yesterday. He was like, "Mom, yeah, I have date night every night." And I was like, "Baby."
Yeah, it's important.
And I'm like, "Baby, that's what you do whenever you have a spouse. You have date nights."
Every night.
Date nights.
Yes. Remember, guys, every night.
So, anyways.
Don't blush. We've been married for 12 years.
Going back to our hobbies. PG hobbies, babe.
I did not say anything.
We enjoy watching movies together.
Yes.
Watching movies together. What else? Shows. What's your favorite show so far? Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay. Let's see. Hold on. What that we do together would be just anything that,
it's really more about spending that
Yeah,
time with each other.
we can be doing anything, but as long as we're spending time with each other, quality time, that ties back to,
Your love
your
language.
love language. Quality time for me, it's big. And sometimes, we say, "Oh, we spent quality time," but, you know,
Everyone's on their
no.
phone.
Yes, put that phone away, y'all. That and then, there's, sometimes where, we are watching a movie, we are spending that quality time and Brandon has to pick up his phone, you know, but once, that's a habit, you know,
Yeah.
and there was a time where, that was happening very often, that can bring frustration,
Hmm.
to the other person, or, is this, am I not important enough for you to put your phone down? But yeah, we love to watch movies together, or honestly anything. Um, do you have a favorite movie?
Mm.
I don't have a favorite movie.
Well, your favorite movie is probably
Oh,
Titanic.
yeah. I
Is
think
why
that's
she's
why
scared
I'm
of the
scared of going on
ocean.
cruises.
Mhm.
That's why I haven't gone on a cruise. Okay. The book would probably be the Bible. Read the
Mhm.
Bible every day. I try.
You better than I do.
Oh, music. I listen to worship songs. That's the only thing I listen to. Worship or praise songs.
Hmm. Same.
That's my that's what I listen to while I'm at the gym. Okay, do you have any travel stories, funny travel stories?
Yeah, we
Oh,
extended our trip from
oh, Punta Cana
yeah,
for one day. I know.
the next was it
Yeah.
1 day, right, or
I
2 days
think
more?
I can't remember. Was it one or two? I don't
We
know.
got there. Second trip we take along without the boys.
Yes, okay, yeah. So the first one was New
New York
York, and then the second one
was
has moved
last. New
to
York was last year November. Um,
Put-
that's when we realized we
this
have
is
to do
fun.
this more. And it's not that we don't love our boys. I,
No.
yeah, I love them boys to death. Um, but it's when we realized that they're okay without us. That we spend like you're saying our date nights every night.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go out to eat
Mm-hmm.
periodically, especially now that you work with us. Sometimes we'll go on a lunch date, or every now and then we'll go on a date with friends, double dates. But and then we have our own time in the evenings every night. Going on a trip together without them at first it was really more because we were kind of scared of leaving them alone, like that they
I
needed
think it was
us.
the emotional attachment.
Yeah, that they needed us.
Uh-huh. And for me, like, I don't know if this is gonna sound weird, but maybe like the guilt of like
Yeah,
having
fun with
fun
us.
without them. Like, I was like, oh man, I'm having fun. I feel so bad because the kids are not with us, and I feel like, man, they're missing out on this. And
Yeah, because we would go out. I mean,
uh,
we were going out. We were taking them to indoor water parks like every
mm-hmm.
3 months. So we'd stay at the Great Wolf Lodge, or we'd go down to
Kalahari.
down to
I love that
Austin.
place.
I mean, we've taken them to Florida, California. We we rented some cabins with everyone not
Oh
too long
yeah,
ago.
Oklahoma.
I mean, so we take them out a lot, but we had never left them and us go out and have fun, just
You and
I.
I, yeah.
And it was again, there was a lesson learned that
Mm-hmm.
they're
Took us
okay.
a few years,
Right.
but we learned it.
That they're okay. So
I think it
we go
was
to
more me though.
yeah, it was, but it's okay. I'm like they're boys, they're fine.
Can I survive?
And he's like, you're my
My
baby.
babies, chicks.
Again, I understand that it's hard for you as a mother
Mm.
to see me taking them from boys to men,
Mm.
right? Because
Yeah.
you want to protect them and nurture them.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is that this world is cruel and it's
Mm.
unfair and it's hard. So
Have to
I
get
have to
them
make
ready
them
for that.
strong. Right? And that's my job. So that means that, you know, I have to toughen them up. So I understand seeing through your lens how it's hard for you, you know, to see that because
Mm-hmm.
they're your babies. So whenever we wanted to go out alone and you would freak out, you know, I didn't make a big deal of it. I understand because I'm always like, they'll be okay. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they'll be all right. Then you figure it out.
Kids.
But
But you know, something that I've also learned is that the better the relationship between us is, the better parents we can be.
mm-hmm.
You know, because that like takes over. You know.
Yeah, well, we're in agreement on everything
Mm-hmm.
we do. We're
Like.
truly one, right? As our
Mm-hmm.
relationship improves, then we become one, like the Bible says. For
Mm-hmm.
example, in this video, they can go back and count how many times we say we finish each other's sentences, right? Because I know what you're gonna think and you know what I'm gonna think. But that's because we've poured so much into each other that we have that type of relationship, right?
That's true.
Well, so that means that we're in agreement, we're in unity. So there is no arguments on how to raise them because we know, again, we're in agreement. We know what we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We
so
have one same target.
correct. So, like for example, you know, if they misbehave when I'm not around, like you already know that I'm not gonna show up to the house and spank them if for
Mm-hmm.
something that they did earlier because what then they associate that spanking not to what they did, but to the fact that dad got home.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So then they wouldn't be waiting for me playing hide and seek or you know with excitement if every time I'm getting home I'm getting complaints. Oh, they did this, they did that, and I have to whoop them there because then they associate dad gets home, I get a whooping.
Right.
Right. So you know that if I'm not home, you know, spank that butt.
I did it last night.
There you go. Like
3 times.
there you go. It breeds character, makes them stronger. They'll be all right. You know, but at the same way we discipline, we love, right? And that's why we have
Yes.
that balance with it because um, we show them how much we love them, and it's like a bank account,
Mm.
right?
I love that analogy.
When we show them that we love them, we're depositing into them, and then when we discipline, we're withdrawing. The problem happens when all you do is discipline and withdraw it and never deposit. That's where rebellion comes in. That's where relationships are broken, you know, between father, son, and whatnot.
Hmm.
So it's very important to love more than what you're disciplining.
That's good.
Because you can be a testament. I'm very strict with them.
Yes, he is.
I
You
don't
are.
let anything slide.
Mm-mm.
But I'm also very affectionate with them.
Yes.
And that's where that
I think that's why they're also very, our boys, if y'all were to see them, they're very, they're rough.
yeah,
Both
they're
of our boys
boys.
are very rough, but they're very affectionate. And they have, especially, well, our oldest, he's older, but our oldest, he's very overprotective
Mm-hmm.
of me, of their grandmas. Whenever he's over at grandma's house, he is very overprotective. And that's because they see that in you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and and I love that. They're very, our oldest, he is a very, he loves to feel loved, you know, by us always, you know, like hugging on him. You know, he wants that. He, not that he wants that, but you know, that's what he sees.
But he's also very strong, very
He
tough.
is very rough. Yeah, he.